Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel Motivations of Chill. Today we are in a critical situation. What all the situations are happening in our surroundings. It may be the pandemic situation about COVID 19 or the financial aspects, the personal aspects, the communicational aspects, everything is under critical situation today. So whatever we need, whatever we tend to do, still there is some hurdles and there is some obstacles coming in and we need to cross that. Isn't it? So in one of my previous video I have done the video of how to handle the uncertain situation during this COVID-19 pandemic situations. So this uncertain COVID-19 situation, how to handle that, I've done a video. So you can go to description and click the link and go for that video also. So today's video, already I've done that, but the additional parameter for that video I'm going to do today. So I said always have positive thought, positive mindset, positive thoughts. If you nurture to your mind, then everything will drive you in a positive way so that you can achieve. But in today's video, we are going to see how to nurture the positive thoughts, how to have the thoughts, positive thoughts. So generally, positivity comes from our internal mind itself. It's we, it's our mind which takes us into negative emotions, all certain types of emotions like that. So, in order to be positive, it's in our hands. So, it may be a positive person or a negative person, or whatever types of emotions you're experiencing or we experiencing, it's all because of it's our thought process. Whatever we think, that converts into emotion. Our thoughts are nothing but emotions. So, whatever we think, it may be a positive thinking, negative thinking, critical thinking, lateral thinking, so our thought process, our inner stories drives our emotion. So whatever may be the emotion, if we think positively, will be experiencing a positive emotion. A happy is a positive emotion. So if we feel sad, if we take some unresourceful stories into our mind, where our thoughts are unresourceful, then obviously we'll be sad. So whatever the thought process will be doing, that results in our emotions. So this is one of the most fundamental thing we should know. So whatever we think, that results as an emotion. So now I'll ask you a question. So emotions are based on our thoughts, right? Then who is the responsible person for handling our emotions? It's ourselves, isn't it? We need to handle our emotions in an effective way. So whatever the situations happens, whatever the things happens in life, so the wrapping of the meaning to a particular incident gives you a particular emotion. Something went wrong or some situation is occurring. So there is a conflict. Let me take an example. There is a conflict between two persons in a workplace. So being a manager, we need to rectify that conflict, isn't it? So if we think that these two persons, they are wonderful, fantastic persons, but still there is some conflict between those persons. So if the third person thinks that both are not good, so it's not a genuine thing. So here we need to have a thought process that both are good, but some misunderstanding has been happened. So we need to work hard, or we need to work to make them clear. So if they are clear and if they get clarity, then everything will go right. So whatever the incidents, whatever it may be in the family, it may be in the workplace, wherever, with the neighbors, with the friends, with the relatives, when we start speaking, there is some conflicts or the idea the opposite person may not accept it. So then what happens? Obviously, our conversation continuously starts, the negative thinking will start thinking. See, I'm telling this, the opposite person is not listening. So these negative things, if you start taking to your mind, then obviously your emotion goes to a negative emotion like anger, frustration, embarrassment, etc. Awkward situation, you'll get it. So you think differently, so that yes, something is happening, the opposite person is not understanding my idea. Let me put forth like this, so that what happens, the opposite person can understand my point of view. So whenever you take positive words, positive stories to your mind, then obviously your emotion will be normal, which means you'll be having the resourceful emotions. It may be a happy, it may be a courageous emotion, it may be a bold emotion, it may be a genius, and it'll also be a emotion of resourceful things what you need to do. Every person is a good person according to me, but their thought process and the way they behave with other people decides whether they are good or bad, isn't it? So that's the thing happening. So whatever the situations, whatever the incidents happens, don't take that incident directly as a negative thing. You filter that and take it as positive, so that if there is real problem, you can come with a solution for that. Even we ourselves also, when we speak to some persons, it may be our parents, it may be our relatives, whatever the people, it's all about communication. If we communication effectively, then there is friendship, there is relationship. If we don't communicate effectively, if there is some mistakes in the communication, then that results in the conflicts, many other problems in our life. So communication is the foremost thing. We should have that practice of communicating with people. So, in order to have positive thoughts, in order to have positive emotion always, the first thing is whatever the incident happens, so you take it positively. Let it be some wrong thing also, but you take it as positive. So then only we'll get a positive and a correct solution, so that the same mistakes will not repeat. It may be a personal or it may be the official work, both the things. So whatever happens, take that as a positive thing. The second thing is whenever we start speaking to people, okay, now for example, as I earlier told, the opposite person don't understand what we are trying to tell. So then obviously if we lose our temper, if we don't take the positive words or positive stories to our mind, then obviously the entire situation will be destroyed, the entire environment will be destroyed. So first thing is, whenever we communicate with people and whenever we want to live with harmony, righteousness, with mankind, with humanity, all these things. So when we have started speaking to people, when they tell some ideas, always have that idea or that behavior in you, that whatever the person, the opposite person tells, listen to that. Listen to that. Don't show the impudent behavior. So if we show impudent behavior, then obviously it results in a conflict and it ends with a conflict. So we should not have the impudent behavior. We need to accept, we need to give chance for other persons to communicate or to tell their ideas also. So that what happens, first thing is self, ourself. We are trying to tell something, we are trying to do something, so we cannot do alone, right? Whatever the work, it may be our achievement, it may be the education, it may be a work, even in the family also, we are dependent on other people, right? So whatever the work we are doing, we should be dependent on others. So it should be a effective relation, not a destructive relation, or always a conflict arises, especially. So we can see in our India, many people, couples, so they end up divorcing. This is the thing happening. See, whenever my idea, I'm trying to tell something, I'm trying to do something, but obviously there will be some obstacles coming from the others. So we need to understand, analyze ourselves, and also we need to get into their shoes and think why they are telling this. So for the students, it's best example. When the parents start telling, learn continuously, if they start telling, study, 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 then we get anger, isn't it? Obviously, we being youngsters and students will get anger. So we being a students, we need to think. We need to go to their shoes and think why they are telling that. So according to that, if we start speaking, so then everything will be normal. Similarly, with parents also. So if some the children are telling something, so we should not refuse that. We should accept that, and we should get into their shoes and experience that and think about that. Then obviously we'll be getting a solution. So when these things happens, then obviously the positive, resourceful things will be happening in your mind. obviously our environment will be resourceful, then we can goal or target something we need to achieve. So these things, the first thing is always whatever the incident happens, that incident you take it in your mind, take it to your mind with the positive words, with positive stories. Yes, there is some problem happening. Let me go there. Let me solve that. Both are good people. Yeah. So financial circumstances. So there is many things happening today. So it may be the loans or the debts people are paying. So these financial circumstances have positive notion that, so that I can convince the bank manager, I can convince the people who are giving me debts, so that this is the situation. I mean, I'm not getting salary, I'm getting less salary. I'll be positive, bold, courageous, and I'll convince him such a way that he'll allow me to repay. He'll give me some time to repay. So likewise, whatever the problems we have, the challenges what we face, the first thing, if you take the positive stories in you and think positively and get into their shoes and think about that, then you'll get a clear clarity about the situation and what to do next. So these things results a positive emotion in you and a positive thought process. So there are many effects and many things coming, like it may be ego, it may be the inferiority, also sometimes superiority. So these forces, if it starts to handle us, then it's gone. So whatever may be, it may be a angerful emotion, or it may be a fear, it may be the superiority or inferiority, whatever the types of emotions we are experiencing, always put some words of positive things to your mind, so that that drives you to be a positive person, and also our emotion will be positive, resourceful, so that we can have the clarity, and whatever the problems we are facing today, we can so address those problems and fix the issues what we have in our life. So always having this positive notion towards everything, these two things if you do, it's beautiful emotion you'll be getting. So I hope this will help you in being a positive person. Being positive is the ultimate thing. Then everything, the next step it will drive. First step is the positive nature. Then, so our mind tells us what all the solutions, what to do next, how to act, what are my plans, everything. So be positive and do these two things. That is, you always take the positive stories to your mind and don't wrap any negative things to an incident. Wrap it with the positive things, and so act positively. Get into their shoes and think. Then everything becomes normal and you'll have a clarity to achieve your goal. Thank you. Have a fine, fantastic, and a beautiful day.